Hey there, I am Tony. This is my channel. Welcome. Thank you for pressing play. Today, I want to answer the question, what is hip hop meditation? So around these parts on this channel, we'll be dealing with hip hop, the hip hop aesthetic, as it relates to wellness, meditation, mindfulness, art and creativity, personal growth and development, as well as the music itself and the art itself and the culture. All right. So let's get into it. What is hip hop meditation? See, well, whether consciously or unconsciously, we've all used music as a way to center ourselves, alter our mood, become more grounded, to find peace and to find calm. And hip hop for many has been a source of energy and direction. So I know. Wait. So if all you know about hip hop is what you see on television and hear on the radio, then I'm gonna need you to do a little research to really get to know the music and then come back to the conversation. But for now, I wanna start it out making sure we all know what hip hop is in general. Most people in my life know. Now, do we all know what hip hop is? We know that hip hop is a culture. We know that for many, hip hop is a way of life. We know that hip hop can be a style and an aesthetic. And we know for sure that rap is only one element of hip hop. That hip hop is a term is used in exchange, for rap, but it's not the same thing. They're not interchangeable terms. The term hip hop represents a complex culture that includes dancing, DJing, graffiti writing, beatboxing, which is vocal percussion and rap. And if we were to ask someone like the teacher, the legendary KRS-One, he would add a few more elements on there, including fashion and entrepreneurship and knowledge, all right? This hip hop, it's been overly commodified and used to sell everything from fried chicken and donuts and French fries to cars and clothes. And hip hop has created entire industries. Technology has significantly been impacted by hip hop and the way producers and DJs use instruments and equipment. What else has been impacted by hip hop? Style, the fashion industry has been impacted by hip hop. And now, check out hashtag hip hop ed on Twitter. There is a global community of educators who are accessing hip hop. Not just music educators, which I focus on, but science teachers like Chris Emden, who led a whole movement with science teachers. There's math teachers, DJ Paul Howard down in DC. I remember Paul Howard was doing hip hop education like long ago. And so I have a circle of hip hop education pioneers. We were all doing stuff in the 90s. And I ended up focusing my interest on hip hop music education because I wanted to focus more on the art and the craft of what it means to rap, to be an MC, to be a music maker using the hip hop aesthetic. But also because hip hop means many, many, many things, there's hip hop theater. I started one of the first hip hop theater ensembles in the world, the hip hop arts movement, while I was still at Howard University in Washington, D.C. And HAM, as it was affectionately known, we used rap, drumming, an acoustic bass. We used spoken word, poetry, great literature, and we performed. And it's crazy because when I started to travel a little more, then I discovered there are people doing this in London. And then I met like Benji Reed and Jonesy D and Kefri and Vanessa Richards and all of these people that were organizing. And then I had started Freestyle Union in DC. At the same time, Ty and his crew had started Ghetto Grammar in the UK. And there were folks in LA doing the same thing, the Freestyle Fellowship and cats down at Leimert Park. And there was this energy and this global movement in the air that has culminated in where we are now. what I'm most excited about when it comes to hip hop meditation, which is the hip hop aesthetic being blended with meditative practices, mindfulness practices, wellness information, content. It's not just about hip hop beats or music. It's also about style. It's about energy. It's about vibration, because to inject a little hip hop into something means to add flavor to it. Or as my friend Jimmy Lucero, a hip hop Ayurvedic medicine specialist, says, flavor. So you might be wondering, well, Tony, how did you get into hip hop meditation? Well, I intentionally started creating hip hop meditation content in 2013. I was with a partner who became a creative partner, and he had a studio in his studio apartment, and we've spent a lot of time together, like morning and night. Coming up with stuff, creating stuff, coming up with new ideas, testing out ideas, talking over music, blending it with instruments, getting a musician to add this. And it was like we were almost giving birth to something. And I also was collaborating with musicians in Roanoke, Virginia, where I did a number of artist residencies at the Jefferson Center for the Arts. And then things started to evolve. And I've been telling the story over and over about how I got started. And I was telling it one day in Washington, D.C. during a podcast interview. And Boogeyman Ghost was there. We were talking about Freestyle Union and the Cypher workshop, or the project. And he was an MC that used to come through Freestyle Union in D.C. And it was hilarious because he looks at me like I'm crazy. And he says, Tony, you've been doing this forever. What do you mean? I was like, well, what do you mean? And he says to me, I remember I was in high school. He was in the 9th grade when we met. I was in high school, and I would walk into the art center, and you would have lamps from home. You would be burning incense or some oils, and then the light would be just right, and you'd play a Tribe Called Quest instrumentals, or Gangstar and Guru's jazz instrumentals, the jazz hip hop instrumentals. And you would always talk about vibe and energy and vibe and vibe. And that's where I was introduced to the concept of vibe and energy. And I've always thought of you and hip hop and meditation together. And I was like, he's absolutely right. And it's interesting how sometimes someone else will speak with the sole purpose of reminding you who you are. So this has always been a part of my life. And we used to create music. There were a lot of producers, if we go back and we look into hip hop, that were creating this kind of music. And there were MCs that were spitting content around this sort of stuff. And I think it was underground, it was independent. And so it didn't get to go, it's not going to end up on anyone's radar unless you were like a head. And then for many of us, some of that stuff is on cassette. And I would love to look back one day, but I know one thing I'm excited about right now is that in the past couple of years, Jay Dilla has been receiving the acknowledgement and getting the recognition for being the godfather of lo-fi. Lo-fi basically in many ways is a chill version of hip hop. It's sort of chill, it's easy listening, it's relaxing, it can be calming and centering, which is why so many people are accessing it for studying and for going to sleep and for chilling out. And so I just want to shout out the great late Jay Dilla. All right. You can find out more about him by Googling him, J-D-I-L-L-A. And so hip hop meditation, I've begun this explanation, check the situation. I don't know why that started. I was gonna start freestyling something there and just stopped, got stuck, and I'm going to stop talking because I feel like I'm talking a lot and I'm talking very fast, but it's only because I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to you all, to share with you all, and I'm excited to talk about the things that I love. So consider this part 1, the first entry in my What is Hip Hop Meditation Diary. I'll be sharing more, probably do 2 more parts to this conversation because it is a longer one and I want to make sure that we're diving deep into it. So that's it. Thank you for listening. I hope that you subscribe if you're into what I'm doing and focusing on. And press the like if you like it. And that's it. I want to be able to offer something that is useful. So if you can, let me know in the comments if this was helpful at all. If you have more questions, if you have ideas, if you have suggestions on things I should talk about or address in relationship to this, just write it down there and let's keep building, y'all, right? Because it's hip hop and you don't stop. What it's hip hop and you don't stop. What? Peace, y'all.